I hear, I hear a brawl brewing.
It's nonstop, and now the kids are going to be in classes until January. They're not going back to school. Mark my words.
I am marking them.
The government's going to not let the children return to school. Won't somebody please think of the children?
Somebody is thinking of the children. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's the right somebody. So here we are, Mr. TK, another stat show. This is the December stat show on the
Ooh, well, the
Toronto.
2020 stats show really, right? I mean, it's the whole year is kind of like looked at the December monthly report, right? Because now we know exactly what happened this year in the Toronto Real Estate Board.
We know everything
We do,
and nothing
and at the same time.
simultaneously.
How is that even possible? If anybody could do it, it's us.
It is us. Yes. Welcome, everybody, to our new studio. Smash that like button. Hit subscribe. It's going to be a wild ride.
Absolutely. If you haven't subscribed yet, you're missing out. There's a special um, type of video that you will get if you subscribe, and you won't find out until you subscribe.
You won't find out anything until you subscribe.
So let's go over this. Let's look at this. This is not the news show. There's lots of channels to follow if you want the news, and there's lots of people who can give you the stats if you want to look at the stats. But we got all sorts of stats for people here. So this is the summary, right? So the Toronto Real Estate Board Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, the president always releases sort of the highlights, and they reported 95,000 home sales in 2020, the third best results on record.
Holy
Wow.
cow. Third best. What I would do to be third best at anything.
I think you're the third best
I'm the
screen on this podcast,
I
Darryl.
am the third best screen on the podcast. Thank you, TK. Appreciate that. So
So
this is
95,000.
I find many interesting things in these numbers, but the stat show is yours, sir. So I will follow your lead. What
Well,
would
let's look at this. So 95,000. I know we had 100 and plus thousand in 2016, and I'm not sure which other year would have been a higher number, probably 2015. But anyways, doesn't matter. Um, that 95,000, that's the Toronto Real Estate Board, the MLS sales. We got a lot of background noise here today.
a little bit? Oh, just by turning his head, it stops. Oh, he's on mute. Okay, so I will fill the air for a moment. Did anybody get
Okay.
in trouble?
Probably not, but that's okay. So we're in the studio. That was one of the interns. That
Yes.
was one of the interns. So 95,000 total sales. That's just on the MLS, right?
Yes.
Just on the MLS. Because what we've seen this year is an unprecedented number of assignment sales.
Assignment sales. Yes, I read that article
Wow.
too.
Those assignments are flipping back and forth. You should see. I'm in all these assignment groups on Facebook and talking to different guys on at the office. People are moving assignments right now. Not
Yeah.
a lot of pre-construction sales centers that are open.
No, it makes sense. I mean, the people
Yep.
that bought them 4 years ago are making a couple of bucks and they're fleeing to safety while the investors who think, the bottom is hit and we're on the way back up and it's
Mhm.
the right time to get back into this thing are snatching them up for less than they could get, a new condo or maybe even a resale condo in some cases.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. So that's great. So that's obviously something that we take into consideration. So they just kind of gave us some highlights here. They said that the sales were up 8.4% compared to 2019. This included the results from the month of December. Year over year increase in sales in December, 64.5% higher with 7,180 sales. Wow. Busy December.
Crazy. Just crazy. But I mean, we all know that I'm selfish and I can only think about what's interesting to me. And I just keep looking at these condo stats and I'm like, holy cow,
We're gonna get to those.
we are going to get to those. But you
We're
see,
gonna we're generalizing right now because we want to just make sure everyone understands that there is two markets, but there's lots going on. So
lot.
average sale price, new record, 929,699, up by 13.5% compared to 2019. Pretty cool.
Wonderful.
Average prices are up. That's what people want to hear, right?
It's a good thing. If you're
Good.
selling,
Good. Average price in December, 932,222, year over year increase of 11.2%. The strongest average price growth was experienced for single family homes in the suburban regions of the GTA.
now, if you were following along at home, like I am, I don't see any stat that you're talking about on the screen right now. Am I missing something?
Yes, I'm actually reading the report. So this
Ah,
this chart that we've got in front of us today is the provided by Richard, who I work with, one of my colleagues. He has gone over and above again this month and given us all sorts of detailed descriptions, which is what we'll get into. But I'm just reading the release that the Toronto Real Estate Board gave. But we want our listeners to have the best information possible, the most up to date, and that's what Richard's provided us here on the screen.
thank you,
But
Richard.
I'm just going to run down some of the numbers that they would have provided us, right? So I basically gave it to you already, which is really important. So let's look at what Richard has found here. So sales, how are we doing there, Daryl?
It looks like we're doing pretty good.
Okay. So year over year sales, if you look in the middle column of the percentage change year over year, Toronto is up on the detached 41%. Peel region 56 and so on. So you can see heavy increase in the number of sales. And if we go over to the condo apartment, you've got a heavy increase in the year over year number of units sold. That tells you last December was a slow December in the condo market, if that's what is actually going on.
Well, and that's what I kept thinking was like, what was last December considered slow? Because I don't remember that.
There was no inventory last December in the condo market.
There was
So there
nothing
wasn't
for
any options
sale.
for people to buy. They were
Right.
fighting over the units. Now there was 1,551 units that transacted in December. And over Christmas, when I'm looking at all the December transactions, I'm looking in different buildings and stuff for people. And I'm like, December 24th, 25th, 26th, like all these sales happened right around Christmas Day. It was nuts.
What a great Christmas present.
It was a lot of, there was a lot of condos in people's Christmas wish lists this year.
Yes.
So
There
they
must have
got
been.
them.
I mean, what else is there to do except buy real estate right now?
Exactly. Let's look at the month over month though. So month over month in Toronto, we had 29% less sales compared to December, a tightening of the market, right?
Yes.
And in the condo market, we saw a little bit more activity, which was good. A 12% increase in sales just means that there was an increase in demand. Okay. That's
And
what that
some
means.
inventory to buy.
Yeah, there was options for people, and so they were able to go out there. The demand had increased from November to December, and that there was 12% more transactions. Roughly 200 more people said, "Hey, let's go into the condo market." My favorite statistic: the months of inventory.
Oh, what happened? Weren't we talking in the fours before?
Let's go. This is important.
This is
So
important.
anytime we're in this months of inventory here, MOI in the detached sections, you can see in Toronto 1.16 month of inventory, Peel, Halton, York, Durham. Anything under one is like insanity. It's like lineups of people at the door when a house gets on the market. Anything even under two is really good, but anything close to one, between 1.5 months of inventory, you're in a very strong seller's market. And
This
so
Durham again.
Durham in the lead, Peel and Halton, you list the homes in those areas and they are flying off the shelves basically. York region's the slowest region. It's also because it's a little bit more money in York region, but that's typical.
Super healthy
Um,
though still.
Still very healthy. So let's go year over year. We've seen a huge drop in the months of inventory compared to the year before. So we know that last December was just not as competitive in the freehold market. Everybody knows that. If you've got CP24, you've found that out already. and it's even improved drastically compared to November. You can see all those double digit 23, 21 to 29% less months of inventory, meaning that we're getting into an even stronger seller's market now going into 2021. But these are okay. I think everybody knows that. I don't think we just blew anybody's minds away, right?
I don't know. When I saw this, I mean, I knew things were heating up, but like this is way hotter than I thought.
Okay. Well, we've been talking about it every week. The market's hot in the freehold sector.
Holy,
Pay attention, Darryl. Pay attention. All right. We're here every
I
week.
can't even. I'm not even looking at the detached.
Okay. So we're at the condo market now.
Yes.
Okay. This is the real good information out there that I think is really important. Toronto, where we've been struggling, right? Peel, Halton, York, Durham, they've all been pretty steady all year round. The condo markets weren't really affected there. We know why the condo markets were affected in Toronto. We won't get into that. We're down to 2 months of inventory
Yes.
compared to last December when the market was tight and there was no options for anybody to buy and everyone was buying multiple offers last December for condos. Now that's actually improved. So there's an extra 54% inventory in the year, which I guess would have been a pretty hot seller's market, around 1.25 months of inventory last year, roughly. So that's a big improvement for buyers, a little bit more inventory for them to see. But look at it compared to what November was.
Amazing.
50% less
Amazing.
inventory is available.
It's great.
Yeah, we've improved. There's a number of reasons. Investors are back in the market.
One.
Young first-time buyers, people who are looking at the lower inventory stuff, have no chance in the freehold market. And if they want to buy, they have to buy a condo.
I give up. I give up. I'm
The
buying a
white flag is
condo.
up. The white flag is up. The confidence that people have with the vaccine coming out and everything else like that is now starting to give people reasons to or comfort levels to go back into the condo market for that physical distancing, health risk type of concern. 3. The next one,
3.
the fourth one is a lot of industry leaders have been out there. Business tycoons, real estate, representative and leaders have been out there saying the condo market, we've hit the bottom and it is now coming back into the mix where people are starting to get more confident. We saw it in the assignment listings over the last 3 months where there was this heavy interest in people looking to buy condos. So we're like, there's all these people out there looking to buy condos, like literally thousands of people are looking to buy condos in Toronto. I mean that. And they just weren't buying them on the MLS. They just weren't buying the resales. So we knew eventually they couldn't find what they were looking for off market and they would be coming back to the MLS system. And we were right. And December, the last 2 weeks of December, we saw a return to a lot of the condominium markets. Now, if you're dated, if you're a large unit with big maintenance fees that is in a less desirable neighborhood, there's still lots of reasons why people aren't going to be interested in your unit. But if you're a nice clean unit, 2 bedrooms, renovated, well done, good building, people are interested. You could probably get that thing sold quick and start. So I think one of my advice is, because what I notice in these market changes, this is when people get burned all the time. And this is one of the biggest things that I think is a benefit for working with the company that I do, is that we see so many things. We're carrying so many listings at a time. I'm dealing with so many different of my colleagues where I'm hearing sort of what the market's doing every single day. It's not like I'm selling, one every 2 weeks and I find out what the market is, in 2-week increments. I get hourly updates on what is actually going on in the market. And so when the market changes drastically, people list their condo for sale for the price that people were maybe selling for last month. And then they end up selling really quickly and they think, oh, I did so well, but they actually could have gotten a lot more money. Mm-hmm. And because the market has changed, their attitude, their expectations, that the knowledge and experience that their agent has wasn't quite up to speed, and buyers can take advantage of that and end up getting a really sweet deal. So we're going to see a lot of condos sell really quickly because people just haven't got the message yet. Prediction.
Sorry, I have some screaming going on in the background here that I'm...
These interns, man. These interns that we've hired, guys.
That's it. I'm done with this studio. I'm out of here.
We're going to work on them.
This.
All right. So months of inventory, it's looking good in all areas. Actually, it's not looking good in the freehold area. This is a horrible market. Real estate agents don't like it. Trust me. We're out there lining up to get into houses. There's 30 offers on every property. Even when you're selling them, you look like a hero in the end, but you got to work so hard. You got to deal with so many different people in the end just to sell one property. The sellers benefit, you get them tons of money. It's fantastic, but it is tiresome. I would prefer a more balanced market. I'd like to see 2 months of inventory in all categories so that we are in a much more balanced market. I think it's good for sellers, it's good for buyers, it's good for the agents, it's good for the people at the desk at the condominiums, it's good for the neighbors who have to deal with the cars lined up on the street. Anyways, we're in a tight market right now. It's just the way it is. So active listings, you can see, has dropped drastically in the detached section in all areas year over year, month
Well,
over month, and in the condominium sector as well. So year over year.
but hold on a
These numbers
sec.
are crazy,
Like,
eh?
yeah, but there's no end to this. Like, there's no way that a whole bunch of inventory is all of a sudden going to appear.
For
For
detached?
for detached, for sure. I mean,
That's the question, Darryl.
listen, even if a whole bunch of developers release all kinds of new phases or new developments, I mean, look what's going on. And then eventually the vaccine's gonna work, and we're gonna open up those floodgates, and it's gonna be friggin' nuts.
So
It's
you're
here
right.
though. The nutsness is here already.
If nothing changes, that's you're absolutely right. So some of the reasons that could change is the people who are struggling, who haven't been able to figure out their financial situation, are going to be forced to list their homes, right? So those are people who are, they need to sell,
Yeah,
right?
I think that will be a small segment of the market, but yeah, I mean it will have
Okay.
an effect, maybe.
Okay. Then you're going to have people who are still leaving the city and deciding to go up north. And just as they had been in 2020, have now finally realized that, their work situation is not going to change and they'll be able to work from home now indefinitely. And they'll start putting their houses back on the market. One area that's actually, it's good news. I mean, it is what it is, but reverse mortgages are up
A little bit,
a little bit,
a little
but
bit.
there's more people looking at their options to stay in their homes
Yeah.
than ever before.
Well, sure, because the value's gone berserk and only going to go crazier. Here, I just did a little bit of math, okay? And I needed, of course, my phone because I can't do it in my head.
Okay.
But let's say they do hit their 400,000 immigrant target,
Okay.
okay? And half of those come to Ontario, okay?
Yep.
200,000. That's 3,850 people a week coming
Okay.
to Ontario. Where are they going to live?
Well, mostly in rentals. Also, remember that's
Didn't we have
total. They
a
could have
rental
families of five,
crisis?
6, 7. They could have families of 5, 6, 7 people all living in one house.
I suppose they could, but I
They can
mean,
move in with family that's already here, like a lot of immigrants do.
okay, so let's divide it by 4, which is higher than the average family size. It's still almost 1,000 buying groups a week.
Mm-hmm.
That
2018, we had a third. We had a third of the Canadian immigrants come to Toronto.
it's gonna be a boom
I think it's
town,
40
baby.
something percent come to Ontario, but not all come to Toronto.
These
I know.
numbers look like it is a boom town. Okay, sorry.
Boomtown, boomtown.
Boom
Let's look at the active listings
town.
quickly. So I'm just trying to dissect this because it's really uh, a lot of information. So the total number of condo apartment listings, active listings, has gone up significantly
Year over year.
year over year.
Mm-hmm.
Because compared to last year, there was not a lot of inventory. Okay. Which is why when we look at the sales, those sales were up so much as well, because there really was nothing available in the condo market last year. All right. And yes, there's a lot of choices, but clearly there was enough demand to be able to absorb some of these active listings to still have 75% more sales.
I think what's
Okay.
more important is the month over month number.
What's more important is that now we've had a huge shrinkage of active listings, which I would not credit to sales. Yeah, that's definitely what's happening. But I think that a lot of people got tired. They took their condos off the market. I saw a lot of terminations and suspensions in December or the end of November. And so people got fed up. People took their places off the market. People decided to rent. There's a lot of reasons, right? So we may see people decide to come back into the market in January now that some of the numbers are looking a little bit better, but we'll see what happens there. Otherwise, active listings in the other areas are all way up except for Durham because there's not a lot of condos in Durham.
Durham is just grooving.
It's crazy.
Craziness.
It's crazy. Durham's crazy. All right. HPI. So this is the price that it takes into account types of home and everything else and comes up with this home price index. So the benchmark price has now gone up year over year 9.82% in Toronto and 21.62% in Durham. Okay, so this is now compared to the other stat that we had, which was when we looked at
look at these
average
numbers.
average prices in Toronto had gone up.
1.3 million, 1.2 in Halton. In Halton. What the hell's going on?
11.2% the average price went up. So that just means that
How's the benchmark the same in Halton as Toronto?
benchmark where?
Single family
apartment?
detached. 1.271 and 1.1.
Oh.
So it's like 100,000 different to live in Halton.
Oakville.
Ah.
That's all Oakville.
All Oakville. Okay.
Right? So yeah, you start getting some $3 to $12 million sales put into the mix, then that really helps out, right?
Very skewed then.
Yeah. So that's fine. That's the way it is. It's also single family detached, right? So I think if you added in like townhouses and all that stuff, you'd start to see a little bit of more of a disparity. But condo prices as well, they're actually down month over month. If you look at the benchmark price, $597 in Toronto. Okay, so we haven't seen the prices. I think that's an important stat. We haven't seen the prices in the Toronto condo market come back. There's no evidence of that yet. Like I said, people are going to be putting their condos on the market, not knowing that there's less inventory, not knowing that there's going to be more competition out there, not knowing that from buyers, not knowing that the appetite of the buyers has changed, and they will undersell their condos in January 2021. Unfortunately. Okay, this happened in May 2020. So we were coming out of the pandemic. I'm seeing all these amazing sales start to happen the last week of May. I saw a guy list a property that was, consistent with the sales in April, which is a dead month. Everything was closed down. And so I was able to jump on a deal there. And I saw a few other deals the last week of May because nobody knew that the market had returned and that there was a significant demand for properties. So that's
Now
that's
is
the
the
stats,
time.
my friend.
Now is the time to buy something because, not that there's anything going on in the world right now that's important and that should be mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure people will move here from there. It's a little scary in the Orient at the moment.
Okay.
I think we may break the 400,000 person barrier. What do you think about
just
that?
climbing over the borders compared to what's going on in the States. Yeah.
They're going to try and get in here desperately.
Beautiful.
This is amazing. Well, Mr. TK,
I look forward to Sunday. I look forward to doing another show in the newsroom, in the studio, live
from the studio,
in North York, Ontario.
I want everybody to follow us on Instagram at Toronto Real Estate Show without a W. SHO. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Parler.
Yeah, we have no followers. We need more followers.
We have a few.
Subscribers.
More subscribers. That's what we need. Mr.
Beautiful.
TK.
And we'll announce our 100th subscriber on the Sunday show coming up.
On the Sunday show. And then we have guests lined up every other week. into February right now, Mr. TK.
High demand, right? We're turning away guests right now. We got so many guys trying to get on into the chairs, right? Into the hot seats.
Sorry, can't book you till February.
Yep,
Sorry,
we're booking in
can't book
February
you
right
till
now.
March.
Yep. Actually,
This
we are.
is
We're booking in
taking
March right now.
off. We got one more spot in Feb, but it will be full.
We don't. We're booking in March.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
And I still can't get Condo Wong.
Okay.
We got to rally the troops. All right, mister. Thank you for your time as always.
We'll see you Sunday.
See you on Sunday.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.